already. I don't have a GoPro or anything that, you know, a good enough POV, but this is the best I can do. And hopefully footage comes out good. I'll still add in the clip regardless if it's good or not. So with the 80A boom mounts, it does make the whole car a little bit shakier. Not as bad as I thought it would be originally. It's really not as bad. You'll honestly get used to it. New vibration noises kind of came up out of the blue. Like my passenger door speaker with also the tweeter up front and the passenger side. Every once in a while, it'll start to vibrate. I don't want to say pretty bad, but you know, it'll make this vibration noise that does kind of get annoying. But you know, I just drive past that, and where I'll just put music on just to, you know, avoid all that. But for the most part, for some cheap mounts with these boom mounts, not a bad purchase, to be honest with you. You know, you could probably spend a couple more bucks getting the Hasport mounts, you know, to each their own. Me personally, you know, I care less. I just got the cheaper ones. And then, yeah, so the RBC. When I initially installed the RBC manifold, so I installed the manifold, I drove it for like a day. Then I installed the cams, stretched out my chain, couldn't drive the car for 3 months. When I was finally able to drive the car, I drove it full bolt-on with the Type S oil pump and pretty much everything added. And honestly, the RBC by itself is actually not bad. It's honestly better with the cams and everything added, oil pump included. Obviously, it's going to make it better. But the RBC by itself, it's not bad. Car does sound a little louder when it hits VTEC. Yeah, it actually doesn't sound bad at all. It performs a little better and it sounds good. Now with the cams added, to be honest with you, at the beginning, you probably won't be able to hear when you're in VTEC because the cams are kind of loud to the point where it's like, it's not that it's in VTEC, but like it's just louder than normal, obviously. And when you hit VTEC, you almost can't even hear it. Now, ever since I did oil pump and the tune and everything that I've done to this point, I can finally hear a crossover. And I will tell you right now, it does sound super aggressive. Now, in the past, a buddy of mine, he actually had an 8th generation Civic with the 2024 Frankenstein build in it. And I kid you not, that's like the best combo you can have. What I have can't even copy that per se. Like when you hit VTEC in that car, it's just something else. It's a different animal, right? You know, it's just, you have to experience it for yourself. But if I was to say, I always tell everybody that when I drove that car, it almost feels like you're in the movie Star Wars and you hit hyperspeed. That is literally what that felt like. This car does not feel like that at all, for obvious reasons. But you know, yeah, if you have the money for it, I'd say go ahead and do that. That's you know, better performance, better all around. You know, everything about that K2024 is just perfect. In this case, obviously the Z7, everything I've done to it, it's not bad, you know. Obviously there's still VTEC, you know, but if you're really looking for all motor performance, you know, full bolt-on, just strictly NA, no force induction, I'd recommend that. And if you do put a turbo on that, you know, even better, right? But yeah, so that's what I got to say about that. This car though, with everything I have on in it, on a Z7 motor, it's actually not bad at all. Ever since I did all the mods, the car is super responsive. Before, on the highway, I mean, obviously compared to the other cars I had, I would barely be able to pass someone on the highway to get on the fast lane. Now I can do it with confidence, no excuse. Like, I already know I'm going ahead of them. Yeah, so it definitely made this car, you know, breathe a lot better with everything that it has, and just honestly perform a lot better. The Type S oil pump, so it's tuned at the moment, and it's revving out at 8K. Now, I don't know if it can go more or not. I'm probably not going to risk it. I'll probably leave it at 8K. But it's not bad at all. Right now we're heading on the highway just to show you this VTEC crossover. Yeah, you can see my miles per hour right there. But yeah, if I had a lightweight, what do you call that? For the clutch, I forgot the word. Not the pressure plate. Flywheel. Honestly, if I had a lightweight flywheel, this thing will probably perform a lot better, in my opinion. Too late for me to do that. I already put an OE plus flywheel. Maybe, probably not in the future. I probably wouldn't even do it. I don't feel like taking the trans out. But obviously, I know these transmissions don't last long once you boost them, so who knows. So we're in third gear at the moment. This thing sounds healthy, honestly. Fourth gear, I'm gonna drop it in third. Bad for a Honda. So miles per gallon wise, I was getting about 200 when I added my new fuel pump and my smaller pulley. Now that I'm getting tuned with Yash Tune, it honestly went up. It went up to about 250 on a full tank, 93, keep in mind. Right now, I'm fully on 93. I'm not using E85. Now, with E85, I kid you not, it does make a difference. Not by a lot, but I will say it does make a big difference. Acceleration time is a lot quicker, and it just feels more peppier. It just feels nicer. When I switch back over to 93, not that it feels sluggish, but I'm kind of used to 93 now since I've been driving it for a while. So right now it's fast for me, like the way it is. But I already know once I go back to it's gonna feel a lot better on E85. But yeah, 93 ain't bad at all, as you can see. And with the RBC, it just feels like the gears, like on a high, high RPM, high miles per hour, like it'll just stretch. It just feels nice. It feels like there's more leg room now when it comes to now that I can rev out at 8. In the beginning, I used to rev this thing out every shift, just because I wanted to know myself if this thing can even last. Now I'm shifting at a reasonable RPM, but as you know, it's not bad at all. I can go to 8K no problem. Like that, I know myself. But I'm only saving that for when I need to. But yeah, not a bad drive. The full bolt-on ran me about $6,000, as you guys kind of already know, that I put in the description. Is it worth it? $6,000 up to this point. That's not including a variety of like miscellaneous items. So actually, I think I'm at about 5.6 on this car. I got about 5.6 in it, and that's just modifications to go faster. That's not no wheels, suspension. I don't even have any of that. Stock suspension, stock wheels, stock everything. Only thing I put money into was the engine itself. 5.6K. Is it worth it? In my own opinion, it is. Because I was talking with my buddy the other day, and he has a Camaro, and he wants to do full bolt-on in his Camaro. He could just pro charge it now and make like 500-600 wheel, but me and him got the same mindset where it's like we can boost it now, but it's like if I'm full bolt-on with boost, you're beating majority more of the competition. At least that's how I think. That's how he thought. And so like I mentioned before, if I run a turbo kit on this car now, low boost, any other Z7 is probably rocking 370 to the wheel. That's just with stock everything, stock motor, turbo kit, roughly 370. I'm pretty confident that with my setup that I have now, low boost, I'll probably be in the 400s without a doubt. Maybe more, who knows, maybe less, but I'm pretty confident with what I have at the moment. And like I mentioned before, it's not dynoed yet, but this pretty much is 240 wheel horsepower. Only reason why I say it's 240 is because I've done majority of all my research for the Z7, and everyone who has made up to close to 240 is missing the cams, or if they have the cams, they don't have the oil pump. But yeah, so they don't have either one. So I have everything you can do on this car, and I'm pretty confident it's in the 240 plus range. Now, maybe my short ram intake is maybe bringing me down, but only way to find out is to dyno it. Right there. But yeah, quick little story. Back in the day when I was just downpipe and exhaust, not even tuned yet, I just had a loud Civic, exhaust only with the downpipe. There was this WRX. Now I don't know if it was stock or not, but let's just say We got it from a dig. My first gear was pretty bad since I didn't have my upgraded clutch master cylinder with the slave, so it was pretty bad. Went off kind of slow. Nonetheless, he kind of walked me a little bit, maybe by like a fender up to like half a car. And keep in mind, that was nothing but just exhaust, downpipe, no tune. So if I was to ever run it back with that WRX, who I don't even know who it was just some random, I'm highly confident maybe like a car 2 lane at most.